I would say that I'm mostly a photographer and a painter. I'm known for my official portraiture that I do for the government, and I have done for corporations and privately, but that's been my mainstay. Although I have written travel articles and I've written articles on art and the making of art for American publications and English publications. And I have also lectured about certain subjects, including the gardens of the Vatican, which came from a project I did going to the Vatican for over several years to gather images of the gardens and have a big exhibition at First Canadian Place, and then a book published many years later in 2009. Photography is an ever-changing medium, and I find for me, this collection that I have done was the cause of Jennifer Aucoin coming to me and inviting me to photograph the Canada Salsa Congress, which happens every single year in the Thanksgiving weekend. And I went in with an open heart. I hadn't ever done this form of photography. All my travel photography, my portrait photography for authors, book jackets and that sort of thing was very controlled. And certainly as a helpmate for my portraiture, my painted portraiture as a high realist painter. But this time it was dark situation and lightning moves, and I had not counted that at age 60, all the experience I had as a child, having been exposed and dancing from the age of 3, and my mother being the leading Isadora Duncan dancer of her generation, would give me an understanding for these movements. The other thing was that I had studied Latin dance since 1995 and studied specifically salsa in 1998 with the great Colombian dancer Giovanni Torres. And as a result of that, when I went in to photograph the dance, I understood that pivotal movement, that moment that you need to capture. But what I'm trying to do with my photography is intimacy. I'm looking for the moment when the dancers are connecting within themselves and that secret moment where they let you in. At the Canada Salsa Congress, it's a very exciting backdrop. It gives a very graphic feel because the curtain that they use, the blue and white curtain, creates these diagonal lines that sets the dancers apart very nicely. But I also like shooting other situations where it's a darkened background. For example, at the Capitol Theatre, or when it existed, 6 Degrees nightclub, I got a totally different feel where the dancers were coming out of the darkness. The Canada Salsa and Bachata Congress is going into its 14th year. It is a culmination of some of the greatest talents that you would ever experience coming to the city, international and Canadian talents. And what I find extraordinary is the sacrifice that these dancers make, most of whom have other jobs. They would come after work, go to rehearsal, teach, work on a performance, work on the choreography, and live on sacrificing very much their sleep, their time with their families, and in order to bring their dance across the globe and to bring it here for others to learn. They're from all walks of life, all skin colors, all nations, and they come as one family. And when you return to the Canada Salsa Congress, you are brought in as family. These dancers have a story to tell, and if I am intuitive enough, I will be able to find it within their dance. And that is what I would say in all of my portraiture and all of my documenting work is the key thing, is to be able to tell that inner side of that person. My parents always looked forward, they did not look backwards. I don't feel afraid at 67 years old of believing that I still have something to contribute in the world. And part of that is through teaching. And I think if you have a skill as an artist, it is your responsibility to pass this on to the next generation.